Hey everyone, welcome into Siren Records Monterey. It's Fresh Catch Friday. If you're new to the channel, this is where we talk about some of the new releases, represses, and reissues that came out today on vinyl. It's Friday, so good morning everyone. And we start every time with picks of the week. There's a list posted down below in the comments section that shows you a list with prices. It runs in alphabetical order, and it's a big list today. I'm not going to talk about every single thing, but I've got like a good solid 20 for you, just because we like to keep it moving so you're not stuck here for too long. And so let's start out with picks of the week. So, okay, pick for you, Slow Dive. This is finally here. Everything is Alive, and this comes to us through Dead Oceans. Now, it's their fifth record. And as the title suggests, everything is alive. That's what the whole thing is about. It's the nature of life and the universal touch points within it. Okay, this is, they show their craft as masters of pushing it outwards beyond the singular with this one. And the end result is a record which feels like as an emotional and cathartic as it is hopeful. So it's kind of got psychedelic soundscapes going on, pulsating 80s electronic elements, and kind of John Cale inspired journeys. Beautiful record. It's been around, well, they've been out of it for a little while. We've been waiting for something. Like I said, this is their fifth record, but it's you could have this one. It's like almost like feels like a little bit of a companion piece to 95's Pygmalion, but everything it also manages to break down the boundaries of what's come before it. So, you know, they're just so great. They've got, for a genre that's kind of often thought of as sort of divisive and often warrants introspective kind of a commitment to it, this is really, they're just showing their craft and really shining on this one. It comes on crystal clear or black vinyl. It's indicated on the sticker, and wow, this is a big one. Okay, next up, had to pick this one for you too. Speedy Ortiz, Rabbit Rabbit. This is on Wax 9 Records, fourth studio album. They're a Philadelphia-based band, and this is their first since 2018. So they've kind of also been away for a little while. This one is. They kind of have this, as a band, they sort of radiate this exuberance and a kind of a dynamic like a few other rock bands do. They kind of produce an expansive and critically revered discography. They've toured worldwide and inspired the next generation of bands, but it seems like more people should know about them and don't. But their singer and I think chief songwriter Sadie Dupuis, she has been working with... she also plays guitar. She's great. She's been busy working, releasing some solo music. She's collaborated with the likes of Lizzo, New Pornographers, Ben Lee, Backwash, under the moniker called Sad 13. That's Sadie Dupuis. And she's published 2 poetry books, and she's running the Car Park Records imprint and literary journal Wax 9. So she's busy. But I'm so glad Speedy Ortiz has made another album, because they're always great. And this one comes to us on what they're calling on the sticker Desert Dusk vinyl, but what that actually means is that it is on opaque, hot pink, yellow, and light blue, like probably swirled together vinyl. And this also comes with a 12 by 24 lyric poster and an album download, and it is superb. Okay, let's get on with it. To get through some other stuff. Okay, first up, let's talk about Aesop Rock. This is Skeleton, and it's on Rhymesayers. Now, this is a reissue. It was initially released in 2012. It's Aesop Rock's 6th studio album. So Skeleton marked a kind of a significant moment in this rapper's career. It's been 5 years since his previous effort, None Shall Pass, was released, and his former label had been shuttered. So entirely self-produced, Skeleton became his first solo release on Rhymesayers Entertainment. The album title is a blending of skeleton and telethon. It was a metaphor for what felt like a long period of adversity for Aesop. So in celebration of this 10th anniversary, this is a limited edition 3 LP package. It's got a gatefold jacket with revised art layouts, printed sleeves, inserts, full lyrics, 2 cream and black marbled clear colored vinyl LPs, and a UV printed ultra clear bonus disc vinyl with 4 exclusive bonus tracks. So you get a lot for your money here. And it, yeah, that tells you about here the cream and black marble double vinyl, and then it'll tell you about the bonus 12-inch on the sticker. It's there, so that's here for you. Okay, next up, let's move on to, there's kind of a lot of releases by Blade you'll see on the list, but I'm just going for this one. This is year 1 on the label, year 1. It's called Exeter. Okay, so Blade is a Stockholm-based musician, designer, and visual artist, and preceded by his reputation as a rap experimentalist, Blade is a prolific and highly inventive an entity with work spanning and intersecting the worlds of music, art, and fashion. So he began his career as a teenager, trading art and lyrics with his friends. After releasing his first projects, international recognition came for him, and his network of Stockholm innovators soon arrived at the vanguard of a new era in music culture. So Exeter is Blade's 3rd solo album, produced entirely by Good during a trip to Sweden's west coast. The album features 2 appearance tracks from Echo 2K, and this is on yellow vinyl, and it does they tell us that? I hate what, yeah, they do. It's very tiny. It says color, yellow. Okay, and like I said, on the list below, you'll see there's a whole bunch of Blade reissues and that for you. Maybe it's been out of print for a while, I'm not sure. Okay, this is Dan Deacon. It's called Spider-Man of the Rings. It's on Car Park Records. This is Dan Deacon. He garnered his reputation in the underground kind of as an intense performer and a classical showman. So the tabletop full of pedals and sine wave generator, vocoder, Casio blasting through the PA. He's got like all this crap, you know, but underneath that, this isn't just all bells and whistles. This guy is like trained. He's a classically trained composer with a master's degree in electroacoustic composition. So his latest full-length here, Spider-Man of the Rings, it's the first album bridging the gap between party performer and genuine composer. So it's a mixture of his live show, dance anthems, intricate instrumentals, and kind of humorous monologues. Spider-Man of the Rings establishes Dan Deacon as a kind of a new type of entertainer in contemporary underground. This comes to us on hot pink vinyl, and it does say that on the sticker, so we're batting 1,000. They're telling us what's going on these stickers, finally. Okay, next up, let's see. I wanted to talk about E.G., but I don't find it here in my pile. Now, that's on Future Classic, and her second album is out, so it's called She Rex, and I just don't have it here to show you for whatever reason. Okay, but all right, so let's get into some old prog rock. Here's Emerson, Lake and Palmer, The Ultimate Collection. This is 2 LPs. This is on BMG Rights Management, and they're a legendary progressive rock band here. Emerson, Lake and Palmer were formed in 1970, and they're regarded as one of the most commercially successful rock bands of the 70s. Their first 7 albums reached UK Top 10 and US Top 20. So ELP, they're kind of torchbearers of the progressive rock sound, and they kind of jointly created the supergroup concept. They are among the most important bands in the history of rock music, helping to broaden the genre's audience into tens of millions. You know, other prog rock supergroups, things like Yes, you know, that is, these guys were at the forefront of that, you know. People just went to watch their shows, not just for the enjoyment of the music, but like attending class, some of these guitar players, you know. It used to be really irritating going to shows where the whole front line was like all these dudes with their arms crossed, you know, studying the techniques, whatever. Okay, so now this is a 2 LP gatefold Ultimate Collection. It's the perfect release for fans who just want an overview of ELP and who they were and what they stood for. And then 6 existing fans who kind of looking for a non-stop ride of their immense musical capabilities. So it's pressed on crystal clear vinyl. This release ties together all of ELP's ballads, rock anthems, and prog madness. This release has been mastered at half speed for superior audio quality by Barry Grint at AIR Studios, and it is a must-have for old and new fans alike. All right. Next up is Ford, and this is called Guiding Hand. This is on Foreign Family Collective. So the creative process can be a difficult one, especially for artists who are constantly questioning themselves and their work. So Luke Bradford, better known as Ford, he's only 22 years old, and he's grappled with this issue while writing his third album here, Guiding Hand. The title of the album is a symbolic visual representation of the unseen force that helped Luke become better known as Ford, push through the various struggles that came through the writing experience. The force represents the collective human spirit, a gentle momentum of positivity that coaxes us forward when we feel we can't move. So Luke drew on these experiences throughout his creative process, using it to pull him through kind of a writer's block and moments of doubt. The hands on the album's cover are actually a depiction of an actual sculpture that is of personal significance to Luke and his family. It's a mold of his mother and his older brother's hands, which were taken before his passing in 2007. And he's been and continues to be an unwavering inspiration for Luke in his music. So that's heavy. All right. Gentle Giant Interview. This is the Steven Wilson remix. It's on Alucard Records. So Interview was the 8th studio album of Gentle Giant. And it was released in April of 1976 originally. Stylistically, it continued in the vein of their preceding album, Freehand. It was released a year before. Interview further displays the eclectic and versatile nature of this band, from reggae-influenced grooves to ethereal a cappella vocal passages and furiously complex rockers. So award-winning producer and musician Steven Wilson has remixed Interview in Dolby Atmos and 5.1 surround sound. Wilson's attention to detail and deep respect for the source material makes the album sound as fresh today as it did upon release. Now, we've talked about Steven Wilson many times, but he is also one of the members of Porcupine Tree and is a solo artist as well. But I'm telling you, if you're one of these dinosaur prog rock bands, this is a guy you want remixing your stuff, because he brings it back. Okay, here's Guar, Battle Maximus on Pit Records. So this has been remixed, remastered, and featuring the final unreleased song from the late Odorous Urungus. The final Guar album, the founder and lead singer Odorous Urungus has been remixed and remastered for this release. I'm sorry, I always got to laugh when I'm talking about Guar because, you know, what can you say? It also includes the song Tammy, the Swine Queen, which is his final recording and has never before been released. So the LP includes a limited edition embossed cover with new art throughout, including behind-the-scenes photos from this time period and a listener's guide that details the story of the album. This is the 10th anniversary edition. It's on crystal blue with dark blue swirl vinyl, and that is indicated here. It says limited edition transparent vinyl with an embossed cover, but it's transparent in crystal blue with a dark blue swirl. Okay. Someday I got to tell you guys a Guar story, but we don't have time today. But yeah, I have to laugh whenever I talk about them because it's just very humorous. Okay, there's some reissues here, and there are 4 hymn albums being reissued. And they are all on BMG rights. So let's begin with Deep Shadows and Brilliant Highlights. This one possesses the biggest contrast between dark and light. And there may not have been as many entombed emotions and vampire hearts to be found here, but Valo's sensual delivery and poetic words still dive into an ocean of romantic darkness, and albeit with a hopeful light shining through tunes like Enjoy and Sorrow and You Are the One. All right, then I think this was the debut, Greatest Love Songs, Volume 666. It's easy to just neatly summarize it up as grunge and then new metal, but we shouldn't forget that between the two, several metal bands went goth, at the top being like Type O Negative, and of course him. And him frontman Ville Valo certainly succeeded in putting his own unique spin on dark imagery and vampirism on his band's debut full-length album, Greatest Love Songs Volume 666. This one, see, is a limited edition. It's red with the black inner core. Now the other one, okay, this one here, it looks to be silver gray. Okay, then we have Love Metal. And if it's possible to pick like a definitive hymn record, Love Metal would certainly qualify. It was recorded in autumn of 2002 at Helsinki's Finnbox Studios with producer-engineer Hilli Hilesama behind the board. The album plays really firmly to the band's strengths, and it looks like kind of this rusty, yellowish sort of vinyl color. They don't say what they're calling it on the sticker. They're just showing you the picture. Okay, this one might be, again, one of the most known ones, Razorblade Romance. So by the time him released Razorblade Romance in 1999, its fans were well versed in the band's, whole scene, and as well as the lyrical fascination with love and death, and its official full-length album, 1997's Gothic-Kissed Greatest Love Songs, Volume 666, that we just looked at. Focused on that focused on agony and pining after the object of one's desire, a person whom Valo frequently beckoned to join his side, and the tightly intertwined themes of armor and morality and mortality remain strong on Razorblade Romance. And this one, see, that's kind of a fuchsia marbled color there. Okay. All right, this is kind of an interesting piece. This is Local Natives. It's Hummingbird, and it's an expanded deluxe edition. This is on French Kiss Records. Now, LA indie rockers Local Natives are celebrating the 10-year anniversary of their second album here, Hummingbird. It's praised for its shimmery songcraft, and the album balances poignant lyricism with bright melodies and vivid production. Local Natives take you to the beach and cry in your umbrella drink, as Rolling Stone described it at the time. Anyway, this has got a hand-bound book jacket that will include exclusive photos and artwork, previously unreleased. It includes all 3 bonus songs from the Hummingbird recording sessions. It's on white vinyl, and it's limited to 3,000 copies. And it does tell you that on the sticker here. But yeah, you can see that whole booklet thing they got going on there. That's a nice one. I really like Local Natives very much. Okay, this is Midwest E3. This is on the Geffen label. The songs of Midwest feel like beacons in a tempest. It's a blend of rap, rock, and whatever else he needs to bottle up and exact feelings in his heart. And on this debut album, E3, in its prime display, co-executive produced by Midwest and Sophie Gray, it's a tightly wound concept record in a intricate painting of love and relationships that Midwest hopes will guide listeners to a deeper way than anything he's done before. This is on translucent cobalt vinyl. That's kind of nice artwork on that one too. Okay, this is Paper Kites, and it's at the Roadhouse. Now this is on the Network Records label. This is a double LP. So they're an Australian indie folk rock band, and they released their highly anticipated 6th album here. The song and production background began when they were created a roadhouse in rural Australia, performing an unannounced month-long residency in this small Victorian town of Campbell's Creek. So while working on their 6th record, the atmosphere of the live performance is recreated with pedal steel, crooning vocals and harmonies. The song lyrics kind of reminisce of a romance, still as alive as like a blue flame. And the direct quote is, "We had talked about this for years, and we were drawn to the idea of holding up in a town somewhere and play in the evenings as a house band." So the Roadhouse became this place for us. Expanding their lineup, the 5 members of Paper Kites recruited 3 extra musicians to make up their Roadhouse band. And wide spine, 2-pocket gatefold jacket, 2 printed inner sleeves, 2 heavyweight 180-gram vinyl Sunset Burst on one and Cadillac Blue on the second disc. So it just says 180-gram double vinyl. Yeah, it does say Sunset Burst and Cadillac Blue there on the sticker for you. All right. Next up, this is cool. This is Graham Parsons, Another Side of This Life on the Sundazed Music Inc. label. So Sundazed is proud to reissue Another Side of This Life, 13 previously unheard demo recordings of Graham Parsons, who is a country rock pioneer and former member of the Byrds and of the Flying Burrito Brothers. So Another Side, now on sky blue vinyl, features Parsons singing and playing acoustic guitar, recorded from March of 1965 to April of 1966 at the home of his friend. Another Side of Life also features rare photos and detailed liner essays by noted writer Stanley Booth, who did The True Adventures of the Rolling Stones. Okay, this is Passion Pit, finally back with something new. This is called Gossamer, and it's also on French Kiss Records. This is a long-awaited follow-up to Passion Pit's breakthrough album, 2009's Manners, and it finds the band spinning and shimmering silk from many intricately layered threads. Airy synths, warm bass lines, crisp snares, crashing cymbals. Singer Michael Angelikos' expressive falsetto. Each song just glows on this, every whisper, and then all of a sudden as loud as a yell. Angelikos' lyrics, like a ghost, for example, finds him remembering a relationship trapped in a vicious cycle. But he doesn't wallow in the sadness. Gossamer puts it's pure catharsis on this album, and it's all about strength, moving forward, forgetting, and giving life to the party, even as it doles out condolences to the lonely. This is 2 LPs on what they're calling sangria colored vinyl, and that's kind of like a yellowish. Well, here they're saying exclusive gold double vinyl. So gold, sangria, whatever. Same thing in this case. Okay, then we have Polaris, and this is Fatalism on Sharp Tone Records. This is the 3rd full-length release from the Australian metal band Polaris, produced by Polaris and Scott Simpson with Lance Prank. The cover art by Sean Mundy, clear with green, violet, and curacao splatter. So you know that liqueur that's called blue curacao, blue curacao. I guess it depends on what part of the country that you live in, how you say it, but that's in the swirl as well, okay? Next up, I love the cover of this. I think it is just gorgeous. Just by chance, it's going to be on the list, but there is a Jeff Rosenstock album out today called Hell Mode, and that's on polyvinyl, and I don't have one here to show you, but it's on neon pink vinyl, and it'll be here, in the store. Just isn't out here with me yet. Anyway, love this cover. This is Royal Blood, Back to the Water Below. This is on Warner Records. Long before Royal Blood were even formed, they spent years together in various bands playing to half-empty bars around Brighton. And only then did they suddenly become a decade in the making overnight success story. So one day they were plotting how to regroup the meager 300 pounds they'd spent on their first recording. But within a year, they were the top of the UK album charts, storming Glastonbury and winning the Brit Award for the Best British Group. This is an indie exclusive on clear vinyl, and it does tell you that there on the sticker. Okay, this is through Blue Note, and this is Wayne Shorter, Schizophrenia. This is his 1967 album, Schizophrenia, found legendary saxophonist at the pinnacle of post-bop with a sextet of like-minded musical explorers, including James Spalding, Curtis Fuller, Herbie Hancock, Ron Carter, and Joe Chambers, performing Shorter originals like Tom Thumb, Go, and Miyako. So Blue Note and Tone Poet series, they're all on 180-gram vinyl and packaged in deluxe gatefold tip-on jacket. Cool. Okay, then we have, this is another big one. This is Sigaros, and it's called Ada on BMG Rights. This is a double LP. Now, following a surprise digital release, Sigaros' first new studio album in 10 years, Ada, is their most intimate and emotionally direct record to date. Few bands cut through the noise and distractions of the world and bring you pure elemental truth or feeling like Sigaros does. And they have like this new compulsion and drive to the band that comes with the new formation of the lineup. Multi-instrumentalist Kjartan Svennesson is back in the fold, having left the band in 2012 to join frontman Jonesy as bassist Greg Holm. So this was recorded across multiple continents in the band's Sundlagen studios in Iceland, the legendary Abbey Road in the UK, and a number of studios in the US. So Ada leans heavily toward orchestral and touches on everything that has made Sigaros one of the most ambitious and acclaimed bands of recent times. So this is on a double LP in a gatefold sleeve, and I believe it's just straight up standard black vinyl. No, sorry, I lie. It is limited edition yellow vinyl. Okay, This is Spelling, and it's Spelling and the Mystery School label is Sacred Bones. And so Spelling is the moniker of the Bay Area experimental pop mastermind Christia Cabral. Returning with Spelling and the Mystery School is a collection of richly envisioned new versions of songs from throughout her critically acclaimed discography. Recorded with her touring band, these reimagined studio tracks follow Cabral's spellbinding career from her 2017 breakthrough debut, Pantheon of Me, to 2018's multi-dimensional synth-based project Maisie Fly, and her expansive third album 2021's Turning Wheel, breathing new life into the extravagant orchestrations she's written and produced entirely herself. This is on limited edition purple vinyl. It says it on that little purple bar and gives you kind of a clue of what that purple looks like. Okay, now we have Earl Sweatshirt, Sick. This is on Warner Brothers, and Sick is a humble offering of 10 songs recorded in the wake of the worldwide coronavirus pandemic and its subsequent lockdowns. So before the virus, this is the quote from Earl Sweatshirt. Before the virus, I had been working on an album I named after a book I used to read with my mother, The People Could Fly. Once the lockdowns hit, people couldn't fly anymore. A wise man said art imitates life. People were sick, the people were angry and isolated and restless. I leaned into the chaos because it was apparent that it wasn't going anywhere. These songs are what happened when I would come up for air. Peace and love to Zilupers and the Enigma, the Armand Hammer, and my good friends Alchemist and Black Noise. Okay. And finally, this is a great little reissue, because who doesn't love Wilco? Okay, this is Sky Blue Sky on None Such, and this is Wilco's 6th studio album. Sky Blue Sky was released in May of 2007. It was critical and commercial success and received a Grammy nomination in 2008 for Best Rock Album. Sky Blue Sky was the band's highest debut on the Billboard US chart, charting at number 4. The album was also top 40 and in numerous countries around the world. And this limited edition pressing on Sky Blue vinyl is the first time that this album has been pressed on colored vinyl. And then it'll tell you on the sticker. Okay, you guys, now we are just hitting the 27-minute mark. It's been a long one, but hope you all have a great weekend. Remember, you can feel free to come in and shop Saturday, Sunday, but we are closed Monday to give our poor staff a rest that they need. Okay, so list is down below. I think that Spelling that we just talked about on Sacred Bones, Spelling's not on the list, but I'll do another comment when I find the price on that one for you, and just kind of pop that down below in the comments too, okay? So, see you next time. Thank you for watching.